Welcome to the AI Brief from the YPO Technology Network. I'm Stephen Forte. Today, Anthropic is reportedly close to a $1.5 billion joint venture with Blackstone, Goldman Sachs, Hellman Friedman, and General Atlantic to push Claude into private equity portfolio companies, and the strategic shift underneath that headline matters more than the dollar figure. Here is what the Wall Street Journal reported on Monday. Anthropic, the AI lab behind Claude, is finalizing a roughly $1.5 billion vehicle alongside Blackstone, Hellman Friedman, Goldman Sachs, General Atlantic, and a handful of additional firms. Anthropic, Blackstone, and Hellman Friedman are each expected to put in around $300 million. Goldman Sachs is reportedly in for about $150 million as a founding investor. The vehicle's job is to sell Claude, Anthropic's enterprise AI assistant and model family, into private equity-owned companies with advisory and implementation work wrapped around the software. The reporting is described as near final, not closed, so the formal details could shift. But the strategic direction is already clear. This is the second time in 3 weeks we have seen this movie. Late last month, OpenAI was reported to be backing a parallel vehicle called DeployCo, alongside TPG, Bain Capital, Advent International, and Brookfield. A different lab, different cap table, same basic plot. The frontier labs are not just shipping models anymore, they are buying distribution. Here is the reported logic. Blackstone has hundreds of portfolio companies. Hellman Friedman has operating partners who already tell CEOs where to spend money and where to cut. Goldman has the relationship layer, the financing layer, and the boardroom credibility. Anthropic has the model Stachwai, but it does not have a 50-person team sitting inside every regional health system, insurance services platform, logistics operator, and specialty manufacturer that private equity owns. So the AI lab is borrowing the cap table. Here is my read. This is a quiet admission that enterprise AI deployment is harder than the demos made it look. The bottleneck is not whether Claude can summarize a contract or draft a customer email. The bottleneck is installing AI into messy companies, old systems, sacred workflows, compliance committees, and 3 people named Karen who each own a spreadsheet nobody admits is mission critical. Benchmarks do not solve that. Operating partners might. I want to be straight with you about why I am confident saying that. This is the work I do for a living. I spend most of my week inside enterprise implementations, wiring AI and automation into companies that have a 15-year-old ERP, a custom CRM that someone's brother-in-law built in 2011, and a quality team that does not love being told a model is going to read their checklists. The integration mess I am describing is not theoretical. It is what I see on Tuesday morning. So when I tell you the labs are buying distribution because the last mile is brutal, that is from the field, not from a panel. Now, what does this mean for you practically? First, if you are PE-backed, your AI stack may soon acquire a default option you did not personally pick. Within the next year, expect a memo from the sponsor's value creation team naming a preferred frontier model, a preferred implementation partner, and a preferred timeline. Sometimes that is a gift: free pilots, shared playbooks, better procurement leverage, and air cover from the deal team. Sometimes it is a tax. Your CTO already validated a different model, your customer data lives somewhere awkward, and the preferred partner has never seen your industry except on a diligence slide. Both can be true. Private equity is efficient that way. Second, if you are independent, this is still a buying signal. When Goldman, Blackstone, and Hellman Friedman decide AI implementation is worth organizing a $1.5 billion vehicle around, your board is going to ask why your answer is still a pilot in customer support and a co-pilot license in finance. The answer cannot be, we are evaluating. That was a sentence. It is no longer a strategy. Third, the service layer is becoming the lock-in layer. The model itself will keep changing. Claude today, GPT tomorrow, Gemini after that, and probably something open source your engineers swear is basically the same by next Tuesday. But the prompts, the evaluations, the integrations, the permissions, the workflow maps, the operating dashboards, those are sticky. That is where the real switching cost lives. If I were sitting in your seat this quarter, I'd do 3 things. First, if you have a sponsor, I'd ask directly whether they are participating in, evaluating, or planning to standardize around any AI deployment vehicle. Do not wait for the value creation memo. Memos are where optionality goes to become policy. Second, before signing any multi-year AI implementation agreement, I'd write portability into the contract. Your data, your workflow maps, your evaluations, your custom agents, your prompts, your logs. If you sell the company to a buyer that picked the other lab, you do not want your exit integration plan to begin with hostage negotiations. Third, I double down only where your proprietary data creates advantage. Do not build a custom agent to answer questions a generic model already answers. Build it where the agent learns your customers, your pricing exceptions, your failure modes, your process history, and the weird little operating truths that make your business yours. The labs are not just selling models anymore, they are buying customers. The CEOs who notice that early get to negotiate, the ones who do not get assigned. That is the YPO Tech Network AI brief for Wednesday, May 6th. I am Stephen Forte. If this was useful, send it to a fellow member. I will be back Thursday with more. Until then, stay sharp.